Hey guys, welcome back to an architecture tour of Morrowind. I am Simon and, well, we're in Oldrune. Next stop is Sadrith Mora. Now there are a number of ways to get to Sadrith Mora. The easiest way is through the Mages Guild, but if we do that then we're kind of coming in through the back door, so to speak. And I would prefer to go in through the front door because, you know,
We make a special trip just for you. Same low price.
that's how you should experience architecture, through the front door. Now, to do that, we have to go back to Balmora. We might have to go to Vivek and then take the boat.
Where would you like to go?
I think, yep. So we'll come back to Vivek after a while, but I guess we get a bit of a sneak preview.
Walk when you can run.
Where's the boat? So that's Vivek up close. Don't worry too much about that for now. We'll come back. Hopefully this boat takes us to...
May you find all that you seek.
Nope. Nope. Malogma. I think we can go to Malogma and then... Or maybe we have to go to Telvanni first. So, where's the... Here he is. Again, we'll probably... Okay, Telvanni. So we'll probably come back to all of these places.
I can spare a few moments if you care to talk.
And Sadrith Mora, good. So this just to explain what happened there. We go to the world map. We were in Oldrune there. We took the Silk Strider down to Balmora, down to Vivek. And then from Vivek you can go to Telvanni, so take Silk Strider down here, take the boat here, and then the boat again up to Sadrith Mora. So now we're on the east coast of the island of Ardenfall. And... well, that's strange. Right. So... Balmora was really ordinary. Oldrune was a bit strange, the architecture, but well, these are giant mushrooms, if you're wondering what they are. Let's just go through the front door. The gate. It closes, by the way. It's usually like that. So, yeah. Giant mushroom houses.
You may speak
So each of these is a house.
under sun and sky, Outlander. We greet you warmly.
I'm not sure how these mushrooms stay alive, to be honest.
Haven't I heard?
But apparently they're part magic and part just giant mushrooms. So town looks like this. There's a bit of a market here. There's a slave market. That's the council chambers. It's off to the side, interestingly. In the middle is the mage's tower, the central tower, and then arranged around it are the other buildings. Actually, we can get a view of it. Well, we're off the path now. So it looks like that, and over there is the fort. So again, in every town there's an Imperial fort, and the Mages Guild is inside there actually. So if we came through the Mages Guild, then we would have come in through the back door, as I said, the front door being there. Alright, so what does all of this mean? Oh no, what is this? Guide to Sadrith Mora. So it's on an island. There's a Telnaga, that's the main tower. Gateway in, that's the gate. Wolverine Hall is the Imperial fort. There's a dock, there's a market, and a council house. So, Sadrith Mora is the district seat of House Telvanni and home of the Telvanni Council, although only one Telvanni councillor actually lives in Sadrith Mora. Sadrith Mora is an island settlement and accessible only by sea and teleportation. So by sea by boat, which we came in through, or teleportation, which is through the Mages Guild, as I said. The town is large, with many craftsmen, traders and trainers, but it is open only to Telvanni retainers. Outsiders should confine themselves to the Gateway Inn and to Wolverine Hall. If you actually play the game, it doesn't actually matter. You can walk around and they'll say rude things to you, but they don't actually stop you. And to Wolverine Hall, the Imperial quarters of the Legion garrison and the guilds. The docks are in a sheltered bay on the western side of the island, and a trail leads up from the docks to the Gateway Inn. Beyond the Gateway Inn is the Great Market, with numerous craftsmen and traders and a small slave market. North of the Great Market is the Telvanni Council Hall, a large orb supported by giant mushroom stalks. To the east of the Great Market is Tel Naga, the towering wizard tower, residence of Telvanni Councillor Mage Lord Master Neloth. Right. So that's a basic description of the town, and we saw all of that already. So as it says, the docks, Gateway Inn, so it comes up through the Gateway Inn. The market is here. I mean, it's all outdoors, so there's none of these markers. Council house, off to the side. Tel Naga is the main tower, and then the houses arranged around it, and this is Wolverine Hall here. Alright, so what is House Telvanni? If we... nope, that's the wrong scroll, sorry. We want the great houses. Right. The wizard lords of House Telvanni have traditionally isolated themselves, pursuing wisdom and mastery in solitude. Isolation? But certain ambitious wizard lords, their retainers and clients, have entered wholeheartedly into the competition to control and exploit Vvardenfall's land and resources, building towers and bases all along the eastern coast. According to Telvanni principles, the powerful define the standards of virtue, and the Telvanni are unwilling to allow the ambitious Halalu to dominate Vvardenfall's untapped resources by default. Telvanni architecture is dominated by the Wizard's Tower, a fantastic organic form grown and sculpted from stems, caps and roots and root-like holdfasts of the giant native mushroom. So yes, they live in giant mushrooms. Telvanni villages are comprised of smaller mushroom pods hollowed out for craftsmen and commoners. Open-air markets often include the giant cages displaying the wares of the slave masters. Right. So basically they're wizards, and importantly, the powerful define the standards of virtue. So they don't really believe in any ideology. They just, might makes right, basically. The most powerful wizard is the boss. And that is quite readily apparent in the layout of this town. You have the tower in the center, and then all the people are arranged around it. So there is absolutely no question that the boss lives there, and everyone else is dependent upon the Wizard Lord who lives in the tower. Now once again, as in Balmora, as in Aldrune, the layout of the town reflects the politics and the culture of the house that owns the town. So here it's absolute power resides with the guy in the tower, so to speak. And the hierarchy is very clear, so it's one and then everyone else. Although, if you go inside the actual giant mushroom, it's not that fancy in terms of the decorations and the spaces. It's certainly not as big as the halls of House Redoran. I mean, we went into the crab shell and we saw these huge chambers. So inside the mushroom is like that. A lot of organic bits and pieces. And also, there's places where you can only fly up. So if you can't fly, if you don't know the levitation spell, then you can't actually get up to the Wizard Lord. Fortunately, we know how to fly. So yeah, it's quite simple, to be honest. Yeah, it's levitation all the way. I mean, the power structure is very simple. Anyway, Master Neeloth is right here.
You
Him.
want something, Sarah?
So, I mean, it's not that extravagant, you know? It's just a mushroom, and which is kind of interesting. Although, you know, you never know what they actually, what their priorities are. The wizard, they're being, you know, they're isolationists and they pursue knowledge and powers. You know, you never know what exactly they're up to. Anyway, so besides that, the council chambers, I guess we can go look at that. So you see how the council chambers are off to the side, and the Imperials are also off to the side. You know, obviously they're not part of this group. And once again, that reflects the isolationism of the Telvanni. Like the council chambers is necessary, but they don't really care about it, right? So they just put it off to the side here. And the Imperials, once again, I mean the Imperials are here in Morrowind, but Telvanni don't like them very much neither, and so they put them off to the side.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
The council chambers is also a giant mushroom. And these are not the actual councillors, these are speakers. They call themselves mouths. I am the mouth of Master Orion. I speak the words of my patron here in the Telvanni Council. So the Wizard Lords speak through these people to each other.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
And the temple, if you remember in both Balmora and Aldrin, the temple was a little building with a dome on top, and that's the representative of the Tribunal temple. We'll get to that when we go to Vivek. But here, the temple has been relegated underground, and they just get a little cave underneath the council house. And look how far away it is. So the wizards, I mean they're isolationists, but they don't actually care about Dunmar tradition. So you talk to these guys. Welcome to the Sadrith Mora temple. No, we're not Telvanni wizards. I wait a visit to the temple. Though I understand your confusion, it's rather dark in here and cramped. And certainly doesn't look like a temple, does it? But we do offer standard temple services here. So yeah,
Yes, Outlander. How do you do?
they're allowed to be here, but obviously they're living in the basement, basically. So yeah, like the Redoran, they're somewhat unwelcoming of outsiders, and they're traditionalists. The Telvanni are even more unwelcoming of outsiders, but they're not traditionalists. They're just interested in power and magic. Now on the other side of town is Wolverine Hall, although interestingly the Wolverine Hall is actually quite, it's got a small footprint, and I guess maybe the Telvanni didn't give them a lot of space to build on. We didn't really visit that many of the Imperial forts yet, but this is Wolverine Hall, and you can see they built upwards a lot. You know, it's not spread out along the ground. It's in high towers, and the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild are inside there. So you know they're put away with the other Imperial institutions, so to speak. Whereas in Balmora and Aldrin, they were somewhat integrated into the town, more so in Balmora. But at least in Aldrin, they were given buildings, you know. What else is this to say about Sadrith Mora? Not too much, really. I guess that sums up the town. So tower, you know, the tower symbol again. The tower being a symbol of power. The higher up you are, the bigger your tower, the more powerful you are, apparently. Alright, so I guess that sums it up for Sadrith Mora. Once again, you know, the arrangement of the buildings in the town reflect the culture and the political structure of the town. You know, at least in Aldruin and in the House Telvanni, they have groups of power, you know. Even though there was the great difference between the extravagance of the councillors and the houses of the commoners. You know, there are groups of them. Whereas here, only one person matters, and that's the Wizard Lord. And everyone else works for him. Alright, so that's Sadrith Mora. Next stop will be Vivek. So I guess we have to take the boat back. Alright, I'll see you guys there.